Pickett goes to Pittsburgh, and he's the only quarterback taken in round one. The over-under was 2.5. I thought in that 32 spot there would be a quarterback. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, the GM of the Vikings, said last night that he had a trade offer at 32. That's the pick they acquired when they traded down from 12 with the Lions, but he decided to go ahead and take his guy. You wonder if somebody was trying to spring in to get a quarterback, and you wonder if whoever that was is going to try to get to 32 tonight, or 33, with the Buccaneers to get Malik Willis or Matt Corral.
Yeah, it will be, interesting to see what goes down here. I would think, like, looking at the second round, that maybe a team like Atlanta might have been looking to trade up. Maybe a team like Seattle, maybe. Atlanta's the team that pops to me more than any out of the teams that would be in striking distance to get to 32. So it'll be interesting tonight to see where that goes. Be interesting to see if, even Detroit, will they go a quarterback at some point? I know they traded away pick 34. I got that. But, it'll be interesting to see where it goes and what happens here. But, I think it's interesting with the Steelers and the fact that, they took a guy. I think it shows a little bit what they think of their team, that they don't think they're that far off, and they don't want a rebuilding quarterback type of guy, and we got to really groom them. I think Tomlin and company are going, well, our defense is still good, and we got some young receivers and a good running back, and our O-line's got some young pieces. Let's just keep it rolling here. This is not a rebuild. And then I think, the rawness of Malik Willis, where that's what scared teams. From where I was sitting, I heard teams talk about his talent. I saw it, and you know that. There's some great talent there. The thing I think that bothered teams more than anything is with Malik Willis, and what's a little scary, and I agree with it, is the fact that you can't turn on one game and go, hey, owner, watch this game. This is what the guy we're getting. Here's the guy that we're getting right here. This is why we're picking him at 20. Willis is more of a smattering of plays and moments. But there's not one game you can turn on and go, he will tear you apart just like this game right here. It's total projection that way, let alone, like we've talked about, some work that needs to be done in the pocket and playing within the pocket. And I think that's what teams in the NFL saw, and we're going to see where it goes tonight with these two guys, Corral and Willis. I think they're the next two guys off the board.
If you go to the front page of ProFootballTalk.com and scroll down to the features section, you will see the full and complete draft order with the picks taken and the picks not taken. I'm looking at this now, Chris.
Yeah.
Hear me out. You got the Bucs at 33. They're clearly not going to draft a quarterback. They have Kyle Trask, a second-rounder from last year. They've got Tom Brady.
Right.
If they were to trade that pick, here are the teams I'm looking at. The Titans at 35.
Sure.
They're getting possibly toward the end of the road with Ryan Tannehill.
There you go.
You've got the Texans at 37. Potentially, because you've got all the quarterbacks except for Kenny Pickett still available now. I'm not ignoring the Texans as a possible option here because we don't know what they think of Matt Corral or Malik Willis. You've got the Seahawks back-to-back 40 and 41.
Right.
They clearly have a need. The Colts at 42.
Definitely.
The Colts... But, hey, Matt Ryan is not, we've said this time and again, the Colts need to get off of this conveyor belt of let's go get a veteran, let's go get a veteran, let's go get a veteran. At some point, they need to build something. So I would be watching the Colts tonight as well. The Falcons, obviously, without question. So there are several teams that I think we need to keep an eye on. You still have the Saints who whip back around here at 49. And, the other question for the Bucs, too, if they're getting phone calls, the Panthers are still in play, even though they don't have a second or a third round pick. But if they're getting phone calls about possibilities at 33, and some of those teams are in their division, this is an opportunity if the Buccaneers don't want to deal with Matt Corral or Malik Willis, depending upon what their assessment of them is. We're not trading you to the Falcons. Sorry, we're not trading this pick to Atlanta. We'd like to trade it to somebody who's going to take a quarterback that we don't have to compete with in the future. And again, who knows what these guys are going to become. But this whole concept of trading within your division, we always talk about that. Are you willing to help one of your rivals? I don't know that I want to help the Falcons get the quarterback that they so desperately need.
Yeah, I understand that. I get it. That's going to be the tough decisions you got to make. And, of course, they got to make it worth their while to want to say, okay, and do that deal. But I think you named it right. I think those are the teams you look at right there. And what's crazy is, I don't know, you might be able to in a lot of ways, if you like Corral or Willis, you might just be able to sit back and let the guy fall in your lap maybe if you're Seattle or Indy and Atlanta. It's going to be interesting to see where that goes there. I think you said it right. All three of those teams being looking at these two guys. Seattle, man, I certainly could see them liking Malik Willis. It's got some Russell Wilson-ish traits to him that way. And it's a little bit bigger version. It's a guy that can move and make people miss, and he's got a big arm down the field. I could see Seattle liking that for sure and just going, all right, well, we'll let it develop, and we'll see where it goes, a year or two from now. So, I would think there's some play here for the quarterbacks at the top of round 2.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.